Alright, so this is my QuickDraw Sylvan control deck. The aspect of the control is because I use Archfiend's Oath. So that gives me control of my excavations, since I combo it with Mount Sylvia and of course any of the Sylvan effects. So I have 3 QuickDraw synchrons. The idea is to use that along with Peacekeeper to synchro up into Duel Warrior. Duel Warrior is the main synchro of the deck that allows me to recycle certain effects. Because usually I want to summon Sage, I'm supposed to just have them in the graveyard, right? So discarding something like Martial Leaf for a quick Duel Warrior's effect and add Sage back to the hand during my next standby phase when Duel Warrior comes back, you know, it's a good idea, right? Plus it lets me recycle a lot of stuff. Like I like the idea of discarding the dandelion to make tokens, right, for defensive purposes, and then get them back the next turn. Have Duel Warriors of attack directly for 1200. Then main phase 2, discard dandelion to send them out of play until next standby phase and create tokens. And it's a way of like infinitely creating a token defense. Every turn I could just keep making tokens, right? So that comes in handy for defensive purposes. I could obviously use the tokens for synchro summon, tribute summons. I could use, since they're plant tokens. Just checking, just in case. Yeah, they're plant tokens. I can use them with Lone Fire Blossom to get his effect and summon my Sage or my Guardiorc. Copy plan if I want to synchro into something else. Typically I use this for XYZ plays more than synchro, because obviously I copy Sage and I could go into rank 7s, or I copy Guardiorc and go into rank 6s. Alright, I have obviously Sylvan Sage specials when a Sylvan monster goes to the grave. He also has the ability to excavate the top card of your deck. He also has, when he's excavated, you can add a Sylvan spell trap card in your graveyard and add a target to your hand, which is good to recycle Mount Sylvia. Guardiorc can excavate up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. He has also the effect that when he's excavated, he can target one plant type monster in your graveyard and place that on top of your deck. So you can get your anything, dandelion back and whatnot. What else? Of course, putting Peacekeeper back on top of the deck is useful, because that way I can excavate with Archfiend's Oath. Use Archfiend's, use Archfiend's Oath to excavate Peacekeeper. Use Peacekeeper to bring back Lone Fire and just spam the shit out of Lone Fire, obviously. Martial Leaf, if I put this on top of my deck by any of my little tricks to put them on top of that, I could excavate them and then I could pop a monster on the field. But if I normal summon, I could excavate up to 2, so that's useful. And he has 1500 attack, which is not that bad. Copy plant for synchro and mainly XYZ summoning. Mount Sylvia, so I can control what's on top of my deck. Plus lets me set up anything in the graveyard. Like I could discard a Lone Fire Blossom to the graveyard and then use the field spells effect to put Peacekeeper on top of my deck, and then I can either summon Martial Leaf or another Peacekeeper, or just play Archfiend's Oath's effect to get Peacekeeper's effect, bring back Lone Fire Blossom, activate the effect, bring out either Sage or Guardiorc. Since Guardiorc does up to 3, the more excavation the better, so then I'll go into him, blah blah blah. You get the idea. And that will also save me a normal summon if I do all that. if I used Archfiend's Oath instead. So that's part of why I use Archfiend's Oath, because that saves me the trouble of summoning a monster just to excavate when I could just use a spell to do that. And as a spell, I could do it every turn. So it's a continuous way I can constantly excavate, which saves me a normal summon in case I want to save that normal summon for a copy plant or maybe a Debris Dragon play or something like that. Of course, I got Miracle Fertilizer. Obviously, in the advent that I use Miracle Fertilizer, obviously I can't normal summon, so being able to use Archfiend's Oath to excavate the stuff that I put on top of my deck works very well. Obviously, since I can't normal summon, I can't normal summon Martial Leaf or Peacekeeper to get their excavating effects. MST, Regeki Break, Red Screen, my staples. You know what to do with them. Obviously, Lone Fire Blossoms, Dandelion, Debris Dragon. Obviously, I used Debris Dragon with Dandelion and Lone Fire Blossom, so I can go into my Black Roses, or I can go into a Jewel Red Dragon Archfiend if I already have like a 1-star monster or a token on the field. I can also go into Stardust, Scrap Dragon. QuickDraw goes into Junk Destroy if I have tokens, or if I summon Martial Leaf. QuickDraw and Martial Leaf makes Junk Destroyer. And then of course I got Drill Warrior. I might change the extra deck a little bit because technically I only need one Drill Warrior at a time, so I might want to put in some other stuff like maybe Junk Archer, Chandler LaFleur or something, Chevalier LaFleur, DeFleur, because they have good effects. I might do that. I might change the extra deck a little bit more. I might even put in one of the might put in the new Moonlight Rose Dragon. Obviously you can tweak the extra deck to whatever you need the most, but this is currently what I was playing. Slacker Magician in case I need her, stall for the win, right? M7 so I can recycle, you know, my Sage and whatnot, because he's like my main Sylvan. He's the one I like to play with the most, so adding him back to my hand and then dropping him whenever the Sylvan goes, you know, to the graveyard, and then I can go into rank 7 plays. Big Eye, Draco Sack, those are my rank 7s that I use. They're generic, of course, to do whatever I need, while the main rank 7 is High Arbiter because of his devastating excavating effect and the fact that I can bounce Archfiend's Oath back to my hand. It sucks that the field spell can't be used more than once per a single turn, because then I'll bounce it to my hand, play it again, and keep the fun going, right? But I can't, so then I just, you know, Archfiend's Oath, can bounce it back to my hand, have the wild, crazy fun. I could also bounce Miracle Fertilizer back to the hand for one. I could also bounce Red Screen if I don't want to keep losing 1,000 every turn, especially if I already have field advantage. There's no point in me defending and losing life points if I already have the field advantage, so I could just bounce it back to my hand. Plus, bouncing it back to my hand so I don't lose 1,000 during my end phase is also awesome. So, broken plays and OTKs, right? And that is it. That's the whole